Welcome back to the channel. My name's Joe, and today we are going to go over my check-in this week with my coach. And the reason being is just to document how far I've come, what I've been doing, and hopefully either give you guys some indicators of where you can progress, or if you see traits that I'm talking about now that I've healed from or in the process of healing from, it might give you a bit of motivation to go down the same path as I have. And if that is the case, then I would recommend signing up with my coach, Dan. He's incredible, man. I cannot say enough about the guy. Now, I'm going to go through my notes, so I'll be looking at my phone a little bit. I won't say anything personal because his name's in here and stuff, but we're just going to run through it. We're going to talk about some of the positives and give you a bit of a rundown as well about what Dan does on his check-ins, because these check-ins are so important. They're basically a weekly therapy session. So I'm on week 12 now, and not only do I have these, I voice note him throughout the week as well. You have additional calls at the start. We're talking like probably 14, 15 hours worth of phone calls I've had up to this point, and they are therapy sessions. So it's incredible, man. The program that he's got is just incredible. So he's really, really positive in these. I'm not going to blow myself up too much, but it gives you like a lot of positive reinforcement. He's really encouraging, and it's not the false "Go, Joe, go." It's like it's genuine. You can feel it. The man is very relatable. I've had loads and loads of therapy, and I just didn't feel like the therapist got it. Don't get me wrong, they got a lot of it. But a lot of times you're talking to like a 40, 50, 60-year-old therapist, and some of the modern day stuff they just do not get. But he gets it, man. Properly gets it. So, yeah, so he's talking about positives and wins. He's just saying you're showing up as the man you want to be, you're self aware of your old patterns, and you'll see from some of my old videos, there's been times this week where some of my old patterns were trying to pull me back. So, for instance, I've just started dating again, and I was texting somebody, and my instinct was to text them probably a little bit too much. But I was aware of it. I noticed that that was the case, and I didn't text them too much. So as much as we want to be this healed person who doesn't have these thoughts and feelings, you're still going to have them, unfortunately. But you just got to be self-aware and rein yourself back in. There was a self-regulation part as well. So not only did I pull myself back in from that texting scenario, there was a scenario where my thoughts were spiraling about a conversation with an ex-partner. I need to go and pick some stuff up, and I was thinking about the conversation, how it was going to go, and honestly I was going mental with this, and I could feel it dragging me down. And I was going for a walk at the time. I just stopped, I took a deep breath, and I said, Joe, you're not looking for chaos anymore. And there's something called, is it limerence, where, because in our childhood, I'm going to use the word chaos, but my childhood wasn't chaotic, but because I didn't know where the love was coming from, that's chaos in your brain. And when you've met an unstable person, it doesn't make you feel secure. There's part of you that wants to chase them. But a part of you wants to have an interaction with them, because that chaos is like, that's calming to your brain. That's friendly. That's normal. Your brain's been like, oh, that's normality over there. And I just took a deep breath, said to myself, you're not doing the chaos anymore. And honestly, that was so powerful. And then I had to do that a few more times, but each time it wasn't as dramatic. I didn't have to stop, take a deep breath. As the thought came up, I just told myself, don't need chaos. And after about 48 hours tops, that feeling had eradicated itself. Not even there anymore. And I'm not going to blow myself up here too much. Dan didn't necessarily teach me that, but just the way all of his work is formed, it's very much being conscious of these scenarios. So although he didn't teach me about that exact same method or scenario, it's very much about bringing everything back to the breath. Bringing everything back to the breath, and just keep doing your own work. Like, not only do I have my sessions with Dan, I do watch some more informative reels on Instagram sometimes, and listen to podcasts and stuff. So just keep doing the same work, and you'll be able to get the same sort of results. Yeah, sort of the same sort of stuff. One thing I've noticed this week actually, it's been a big improvement, is one of my creativity's back. Now, if you're a proper OG, and I started this channel because I was getting diagnosed with ADHD, you'll know that I was very creative. So too much, to be honest. Not that I'm some sort of like artist Picasso type. I was just starting random online businesses all the time, and I got really good at it. Um, but it wasn't really healthy, and I was a bit too scattered with it, if I'm honest. But when I took my ADHD medication, after about a month or so, I felt a lot of that subsiding. But I'm laughing because I think that's how normal people think. It's like, and I think about where I'm at now. I've had this idea to give back to people. I want other people to gain some knowledge, gain some experience, hopefully better themselves from these videos I'm putting out. And that's giving me my creative spark back. And I think that's because I'm at a place where I'm a lot more chilled. I don't want to call myself almost healed, secure, but I've done a lot of the deep work, and I'm come out the back end of it, and I'm feeling a lot better about it. So there's been the creative flair that's come back. I've also slept a lot better. I think it's been about 5 months since my breakup, and I haven't slept normal since then. But this week I have. So there's a mental shift there. I think my body's like calm. Like wow, you're almost there. You're not in that fight or flight sort of mode all the time. So we spoke about that on our check-in, and it's just encouraging me there about the creative side. It's gone on to say about the sleep, which we've already covered. Talked a little bit about boundary setting and sort of not people pleasing, some stuff to do with my ex. So I'm not really going to go into, but it was challenging, and it still is challenging. And that scenario is not black and white, especially when you've got a child with someone. It really isn't a black and white scenario that you can just say, "Oh, cool, my boundary's here. You're not going to cross it." There's a lot to take into consideration there, but I did make some more. I made some moves to set some boundaries because I felt that the distribution of certain things wasn't quite fair. I'll just call it that. There's been some stronger, healthier connections. So you'll hear me talk a lot about once you do the work, you're going to want to have people in your life that are open to having deeper conversations. And I didn't have that. I really didn't have that. And I had to put myself out of my comfort zone. I went to some meditation classes. I went to a retreat. I actually just reached out to a few people that, them sort of people that you know well enough that you can reach out to them, but you've never really spent any time with them. Did a bit of that, and I connected with a few good people as well. But one of the ladies who run the retreat and did the meditation class called Mita, she's amazing, absolutely amazing. We went for a coffee the other day, and honestly, we spoke for about 3.25 hours, and it was just lovely. Like I felt emotionally drained a bit after it because I'm not used to having that sort of in-depth conversation with someone. It was almost like a bit of a therapy session, but she's a beautiful person. Be great if I can stay connected to her and just keep it's just lovely to have them sort of people in your life where if you want to go and have a deep chat with somebody who's real, and you're going to have so many shared experiences. You'll be very surprised when you start opening up to people how many people are having the same sort of issues as you. And that's building on this place where I'm feeling very like healed. I'm starting to feel a lot more secure because I've got these people in my life. I'm having these conversations, and it's great to know that you can go out and have these conversations. And previously, this is me. I'm opening up a bit here and saying stuff that I will say, or I was going to say I shouldn't be saying, but I think if you're anything like me, whereas when I was probably in my 20s, every female connection I had, pretty much, give or there was maybe one or two, but I tried to have an intimate relationship with them, or I did have an intimate relationship with them. But now I'm actually socialising with males and females on the same level, and it's not romantic. That's like a big progress for me as well, and it's nice. It's nice to have that. If all you're doing is speaking to males all day, you're going to be imbalanced in some way, shape, or form. And lastly, we spoke a little bit about the meditation. So with meditation, you might have seen from my previous videos, but you go through a bit of a journey and you need to really buy into meditation and start getting stuff from it. I was really fortunate that for almost from the first meditation I did, I just felt this calming happiness, this gratitude that came from it. And it was lovely, man. And it just made me buy into it so much. So like the meditations then progress. They go from like very like think about things you're grateful for and just getting rid of a little bit of energy, a little bit of emotion. Then we use the meditations to go deeper into my inner child, and then I could meditate and I could see my younger self. And you'd just probably seen the videos before, but honestly, I've come up with visions of myself that I eradicated from my conscious part of my brain. I forgot I had. And none of them were like bad, like I didn't get like sexually assaulted or violently beat up or anything like that. You know, they were just, a lot of them were times of loneliness when I just needed some reassurance from my parents. I needed them to be there for me. I needed a connection with them a little bit more. Um, but then where I was going with it was then where the meditation's gone now is it's combining the inner child. You go meet your inner child. You then think about what your insecurities are. So my unconscious, subconscious thought of myself has always been that I'm not enough. No matter how much I prove to myself that I am enough, something subconsciously was telling me I'm not enough. So you meet your inner child, and you and your inner child, it's going to sound wacky. I've not taken any drugs, this is genuine. You and your inner child get together and you tell that limiting belief that you have, you thank it because that limiting belief's there to save you. It was there to keep you safe. And you thank it and say, look, thank you for doing what you're doing. You've kept me safe up until now, but now us two, we've got it. We've got this now. And it sounds crazy. Like you might be listening to this thinking, wow, you have lost the plot. But honestly, it's so powerful. And it's so nice when you can, one, reassure yourself. There's many ways to think about the inner child, but some people can just reassure themselves. But for me, I've never been able to do that. But when I bring it back to my inner child and I can visualise my inner child, and when you reassure that inner child, all your emotions that you feel in the present day go away. Because we're acting from that place of insecurity from our inner child. Like I say, it sounds crazy, sounds like witchcraft. Get me a cauldron, I'm all in on it. It's powerful stuff. But this meditation that he did that combines them all is so good. So good. Makes me feel like, I think that's been why I've been feeling so healed and secure these last week or so. It's an incredible meditation. So those are all like the weekly wins. Then he goes on to talk about things to be conscious of. So I spoke about at the start. So although I'm checking myself and I'm reining myself in when it comes to texting and a bit of people pleasing, you still just got to maintain that consciousness of that, because if you're not wary of it, it could overtake you again and it can become who you are again. Like you're going to need to be conscious of that. The good news is, if you do remain conscious and you get those repetitions in, those thoughts subside and you just become that new man. They become who you are, but it's gonna take a while. It's not gonna be, you're not gonna turn up as the healed man. There's this is a bit of a vulnerable moment for me, which I haven't shared online. But the the big push, I've always wanted to get talk therapy, because I didn't feel like I dealt with my mum and dad passing like I should have done. I was emotional at the time, and then I sort of like just cracked on after it. But something that triggered me, actually, I was watching Top Gun, and there's a story about the Tom Cruise, and he has a childhood sweetheart. The whole story pans out, and at the end they get back together. Like that sort of stuff gets me. That really gets me. The happy side, like, I just feel so like emotionally happy for him, and I felt like I wanted to shed a tear, but I felt like it was stuck. I really felt like it was stuck, and some of this stuff is going to turn into like a bit witchcrafty now. So you might have heard of chakras. I'm not like a full believer in all this stuff. I'm coming around to it. I think there's definitely merit into where energy gets stored and where people feel the tension when they're in an emotional state. But I feel it. I do genuinely feel this in my throat. I feel like the emotions coming up to my throat, and I'm actually saying to myself, go on, Joe, just let it out. Just let it out, like, because I've known I've had this issue for so long, I just want to let it out. And the other night, the women were playing football, and this 19-year-old girl comes on who scores in like the 96th minute. I was like so overwhelmed with happiness that I felt it again. I was like, oh yes, I love it. And I'm trying to like, I want myself to be in this spot where I can cry. I really do. Maybe I'm egging it on too much, but I felt like it was stuck again. So we spoke about that this week, and I think next week we're actually going to do some more deeper work on it. But his advice to me was just try not to force it. Like maybe that thought of me trying to say just let yourself cry, just let yourself cry, is too overwhelming, and you just need to sort of like get into it. What I did in the moment though, everything comes back to the breath. I took a deep breath and I blew it out, but all the emotion went at that point. Because that you think about what we do if we're feeling emotional, we use the breath to get rid of the emotion, and it actually got rid of the emotion. So it didn't quite do what I wanted it to do. And Dan's advice to me was to still breathe, but think about where it's stuck and breathe into it. Think about it. And yeah, some of you will be thinking you've lost the plot, but honestly, this stuff does work, and you really do need to like get into feeling your own emotions and body and all the rest of it. Um, we spoke about YouTube actually because I said to him that I've had this, got my creative flair back, and I've been backlogging all these videos. I think I had like 15 videos, and he was saying, "Look, just get it out there." He said, "Don't wait for perfection, just get them online." And yeah, I've started doing it. I started uploading yesterday. Unfortunately, the internet here is absolutely dog toffee. So I'm going to wait until I get back to work tomorrow, and I'll start uploading some more. But yeah, you should start seeing these come through thick and fast, and hopefully they're not going to die off because I've got a good backlog. Give me a good bit of time just to get some more videos out. And then at the end, he talks about what to keep doing. So keep doing your daily practices, all the meditations, like just doing. I've come to the stage now where I'm quite intuitive with it. Like, I'm not meditating every day, but I'll meditate when I feel I need to meditate. It's tricky for me when I'm at home. That may seem that when I'm at home I don't do anything. I have my daughter a lot. It's not always easy. We share a bedroom at the minute. Don't ask. But yeah, it's a bit more tricky. So I don't always get time to at home. But when I feel the need to, I will go away and meditate and make sure I have that time. He's saying keep on top of the real time awareness sort of stuff. Like I say, that's something we're going to have to keep on top of. You're going to have to be conscious of for a good while before it just solidifies and becomes human nature. And then at the end, he just gives you some positive words. He's like I say, like I said at the start, this is not like some guy who's really cheesy with it. He's really relatable, dead calm, got a real like soothing manner about him. He's awesome. Can't say enough good words about him. I might even put him in the title of this video, and we can put his link down below. But yeah, go ahead and check out Dan. If any of this has resonated with you and you want to get to where I am, or you are where I am, and you just feel you need that little push to fully get to that place of feeling completely ready to get back out there, then I would highly encourage anyone to get involved with Dan. Last thing I'm going to say is about the new community. So I'm in the process of starting an online community. I've realised that as I've gone through my journey that it's hard to connect with males who want to talk about this sort of stuff. And if you're anything like me, your old friends who are going to be the friends that go out and party, or they want to talk about girls or football, or the very like macho, testosterone driven, which is great. I can hold my own in that environment, and I will still hold my own in that environment. But I need a bit extra now. I need the emotional conversations, and I spoke about how I've been able to achieve some of that. But I want just a forum. I want a place where we can come and hang out and have these deep chats. And not only that, not only people that are trying to heal themselves, when you are healed and then you see someone else drop a post in the group and it really resonates with you, you can jump back in and help them. And there's nothing more powerful than sharing the knowledge. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's great. Like, once you've been in that I don't want to call it a dark place. I never say I've been in a dark place, but I've been in a bad place. I've been lost. I didn't really know who I was. And then to come through the other side and then to be able to give some of that information back. And that's why I'm here, honestly. If anybody takes a little snippet out of this and goes on to improve their life, my work is done, honestly. Yeah, so do all the good YouTube stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.